If I had a nickel for every time a Kyle Busch branded company was involved in some sort of lawsuit in the year 2024, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's surprising that it's happened twice. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. I'm not going to beat around the bush. You're busy, I'm busy. Let's get to the big story of the afternoon. The Charlotte Business Journal reports that Kyle Busch Motorsports is suing Rev Racing for breach of contract. KBM claims that Rev Racing still owes them $325,000 from last season. They say that Rev Racing has only paid $2.575 million of the $2.9 million deal they agreed upon. The lawsuit also alleges that Rev Racing was late on many payments and straight up missed others. Rev Racing said in a statement to the Charlotte Business Journal that they are working through some accounting and expect the matter to be resolved amicably. The Charlotte Business Journal also reported that Adam Ross, an attorney representing Kyle Busch Motorsports, said Kyle Busch hopes the situation is resolved soon. So, I know Twitter, my mentions were blowing up this afternoon, but it doesn't sound like this is going to evolve into anything much bigger. It's just interesting that this story would break, a week after Nick Sanchez gets his first ever NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series win, gets Rev Racing to victory lane at Daytona. The timing is unfortunate, especially when you consider Kyle Busch is racing in this weekend's Craftsman Truck Series race at Atlanta. He's kind of sort of teammates with Nick Sanchez in this race because Kyle Busch is driving a Spire truck. Remember, KBM sold to Spire this offseason, but Nick Sanchez for Rev Racing, they have a deep technical alliance with Spire. So I don't know, are they teammates sort of? Are they frenemies this week? Oh gosh, I sound like a 13-year-old. The timing is unfortunate. It is interesting. Not a headline, though, that I expected to see plastered across my feed Friday afternoon. But it does give me an opportunity to talk about Nick Sanchez and actually talk a little more about the Craftsman Truck Series this season. In my video earlier today, I referenced the 18, 19, 20-year-olds, many of whom are going to Atlanta Super Speedway this weekend for the first time ever. I want to highlight 5 young Craftsman Truck Series drivers under the age of 25. 5 drivers that I am looking at closely this season who I expect will make big jumps this year. Beginning with Nick Sanchez, who's off to a great start. 1-for-1, victorious at Daytona. I really like Nick Sanchez. He proved a couple years ago that he can win in ARCA. Last year, his first year in trucks, he did everything but win. Still made a deep playoff run. This year, I'm looking for all that and more from the 22-year-old race car driver. Next up is Lane Riggs, who's only 21 years old. He's got big shoes to fill, driving for Front Row Motorsports 2 years ago. This truck won the series championship. Last season, Lane Riggs, son of Scott Riggs, of course, had some great runs in Xfinity with Colleague, had a great top 5 finish with Spire in trucks. Now he is full-time in a Ford F-150. There's a lot of pressure on his shoulders, I believe. Let's see if he's up for it. Next, let's talk about the youngest driver on my 5 under 25 list, Jake Garcia, 18 years old. He'll turn 19 in a couple weeks. I don't really know much about this kid, but that's part of why I'm watching him so closely this year. He's moved over to ThorSport, so I would expect better results than we saw last season, but he's still so young. Think about it. He gets to lean on championship teammates like Ben Rhodes and Matt Crafton. Both drivers have won multiple Truck Series championships each. I don't know a ton about Jake Garcia now, but that's what I'm hoping for is over the course of this season, I'll learn a lot more and I'll see a lot more from this young kid on track. From unfamiliar to much more familiar, I was shocked to see that Tyler Ankrum is only 22 years old. Feels like this kid's been in the Truck Series forever. I had to look it up. He's entering his 5th full-time Truck Series season already. He's driven for some good teams in the past, mixed results. This year he's with McAnally Hilgeman Racing. I know he's got funding behind him, but if he's ever going to take that next step and be considered a serious Truck or Xfinity Series contender one day, I think this is the year. You keep bouncing around in trucks with mixed results, you become a Truck Series lifer, which for many folks, that's fine. If you're Ben Rhodes winning championships, that's great. But if you're not winning championships, you're not even winning races, that can feel like a dead-end job in some ways. Hey, Tyler Ankrum did win an ARCA race last year at Mid-Ohio, so build off that. And one final Craftsman Truck Series driver under the age of 25 that I'm sure many are keeping a close eye on this season is 21-year-old Rajah Caruth. While the results weren't great with GMS last season, at least Rajah progressively got better throughout the year. 3 of his 4 top 10 finishes last season came during the playoffs at the end of the year. Now he's racing for Spire Motorsports, an up-and-coming, exciting, hungry race team, and he's got a great mentor in Bubba Wallace, who's not afraid to hold him accountable like we saw at the end of last weekend's Daytona race. I think that is good for a young driver. I've known Rajah a little bit for a number of years now. He is hungry to learn. He is the definition of a sponge, soaking up any and all information. I'm looking for Rajah to take a big step forward this year. I expect him to make the playoffs, like I said on the show a week ago. He's off to a great start. Maybe caused a big wreck at the end of the race, but managed a top 5 at Daytona, so let's clean it up, but keep the results strong. There you go, my 5 Truck Series drivers I'm watching closely, all under the age of 25. Before I go, there is one more story, I guess, headline I'd like to react to, just since I'm here. It's the end of the week. Adam Stern, writing for Sports Business Journal, published an article today, and in this article, he wonders if Amazon Prime will make some sort of splashy talent play next year, the same way they did when they hired Al Michaels to host Thursday Night Football. What we're getting at here is Dale Earnhardt Jr., who a few weeks ago on his podcast said he does not have a contract with NBC for even this year. His services are wide open. He is available. He is a free agent. Adam Stern wonders aloud if Amazon, with their deep pockets, could make a serious play for Dale Earnhardt Jr., and I think he is exactly right. I said this a few weeks ago, but Dale Earnhardt Jr. knew exactly what he was doing when he made those public comments about NBC. I think plan A is use this leverage to convince NBC to sign him to a long-term, very lucrative contract. While plan B is, hey, let Amazon, Turner, these new players know that your services are available, that you are a free agent, and who wouldn't want Dale Earnhardt Jr., arguably still the most influential figure in the sport, representing their network. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is extremely valuable, and he knows it. So I don't know what happens. I hope Dale Jr. is back with NBC because I'd hate to see him not on the air this year, take a year off. I think that would hurt the NBC broadcast the second half of the season. But at the same time, I'll be very curious to see where Dale Jr. ends up in the year 2025 and beyond, because he will be on TV somewhere. He's so busy with his podcast, Dirty Mo Media these days. It's clear he enjoys that side of the industry. He executive produced the Netflix show. He enjoys being that kind of ambassador for the sport. Very public, very forward-facing. It's a lot of work, I'm sure. Maybe it exhausts him sometimes, but he does seem to enjoy it. It's one of the things I respect most about Dale Earnhardt Jr. He is not shying away from the spotlight. Even though his driving days are largely behind him, he is still perhaps the best ambassador stock car racing has today. I respect that a ton about him. So if it's NBC, if it's Amazon, if it's someone else, I think Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to get the bag from whichever network picks him up next. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Would you like to see Dale return to NBC this year and beyond? Or are you curious to see what an Amazon Prime booth featuring Dale Jr. would look like? Maybe they bring in, oh gosh, I'm just spitballing here. What if they get an Alan Bestwick alongside him? Ooh, I don't know what's realistic, but let's have some fun with it in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We stay up to date on all the latest NASCAR news, rumors, and much, much more. And a huge thank you to my very generous Patreon supporters. Triple header this weekend, Trucks and Xfinity tomorrow at Atlanta, the Cup race on Sunday. Weather looks great. Woohoo, we finally caught a break. Can't wait. I will see you all later this weekend. Have a wonderful rest of your Friday.